Okay, this is Criterion D for IB Computer Science SL1. This is my IA. So basically, I'm running this through Live Server, which is an extension on Visual Studio Code right here. This just allows me to host the website on my computer itself. It's really easy, so all I have to do is click a button down here. I'm already running it, so I'm not going to click on that. But here's the actual website itself. Walking Westeros, because it's a hiking app. It's based on Game of Thrones. Here's the map. So basically the way the program works, let's say today I hiked, let's say I hiked 11 miles, or I hiked 7 miles today, right? It displays the first landmark here, so we're at number 1. We start here. So, you know, it shows a little text thing, shows you some cool lore, some text. And then let's say tomorrow I hiked another 7 miles, so now we're at 14 miles. Now we're at landmark 2. So basically what it does is it checks if your total number of miles is in between one number and another number, and depending on the range of those numbers, it'll display a landmark. So now showing you the code, basically. HTML, 3 languages I used, HTML, JavaScript, and CSS. So let me go back over here to the HTML file. So up here, this just makes sure that it's an HTML file, doc type HTML. HTML language, this is just English, just to make sure it's not in Chinese or any other language that I would need. All of this is basically just making sure that I can run on any website that I want, or any device, so I can run this on a laptop, phone, whatever. This line is linking this to the styles.css. This is very important since this allows me to maneuver around the text and the images so that nothing is looped on top of each other. Everything's not all, you know, wherever. Alright, title, Walking Westeros. It's just the title of the website itself. Alright, here we go. This is the image. So this basically ports the image. You can talk about this later, so I don't need to explain all of this. But basically this image class, medium image. So, you know, it just grabs the image. This isn't really important, but search. This basically grabs images from the images folder, which is inside the IA site folder. It searches in images for the Walking Westeros map.png, which I drew myself. As you can see, it's right there. It just grabs it from the thing, and then it displays it right here, so I can grab the thing pretty easily. H2 total miles. This is basically just more text, like right here, total miles hiked. Form ID, miles forms. Basically what this does is it's the one right here. It's just a form. Allows me to input any integer I want, basically. So that's too big of a number, but let's say I want 50. This just allows me to display those, and then that'll come in handy later. I already explained how the images worked, but basically this just grabs all the landmark images from the images folder. This is the miles.form. So it uses miles form up here, which is the integer stored in this box. It takes that integer and it checks if it's between the minimum miles and the maximum miles, so 0 and 391. And this if statement basically checks that, so total miles. If it's in between those, you're fine. If it's not, if it's in between those, it converts that as miles. If it's not, it shows an alert. So let's say like you have an insane number here. Yeah, it's too big, so 0 and 391 miles. You can't have that. Alright, so here's the actual array. This consists of all the ranges for each landmark. So, you know, I use landmark ID. This basically stores it. This is just the name that I call, so I can call in it much easier than typing out this whole thing all at once. This stores it as a range. So, it's an array, so it's just a really easy way to keep track of it, and it allows me to do much more efficient things like use a for loop to check the range. So if the miles is in between a range and another range, so let's say I have my miles is 20, it checks the first one. So is 20 in between 0 and 10? No, doesn't show that one. Is 20 in between 10 and 30? Yes, then it shows landmark 2. That's basically what this does, and it displays the one that it's showing in between and hides everything else. So basically every image is stacked on top of each other, but only one is being displayed at a time. Now let's check how we're doing. So basically the CSS is used for styling. So font face, this grabs from the font folder the TTF file, and it stores it as named Game of Thrones or GOT. And the format's true type, so TTF, whatever. This just allows me to use the font, so with the text. So I just input the font, as you can see. Where can I find it? Miles.form. You can see right here, enter miles. Wherever, miles.form, this number right here. It's displayed as GOT, that's the font, and you can see every single text bubble is using that font. Medium image. Basically, this just allows me, for medium image, that's basically the Walking Westeros map. And that allows me to resize and basically move it around and keep it wherever I want it to be. Alright. Total miles. Again, this just allows me to move it around. You can see right, it's just 80 pixels, 25 pixels. Basically, it's a number of pixels by a number of pixels, XY coordinates. I just attach whatever XY coordinate I want to it, and that moves it around. Color, you could probably guess what color is RGB. I just don't worry about that. I just use that to check if the image function work. H2, you can see H2. Where is it? Up here. Total miles hiked. Right there. And then all of these landmarks, I basically just copy and pasted them over and over and over again. Basically, I copy and pasted them because each of them is going to be in the exact same location. It's just I named them Landmark 1, Landmark 2, Landmark 3, Landmark 4, etc. And I just kept going like that. And then everything is condensed into these two files, and this is the program. Thanks.